Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing well. It's been a while since I've shared an update, and I know those posts tend to get pretty long and it's a lot to read through, so I thought I'd try something different this time around with the video. I think the last update I gave, I was either heading down to Nashville or had headed down to Nashville to see about some clinical trials. And I was getting ready to start a pill form of chemotherapy that we were hoping would address the very small lesion that had developed in my liver and just hold everything else at bay for a little bit. A lot's happened in the last 3 months. We first of all found out that to be eligible for those trials, my anemia needed to be more resolved, and we needed to get my hemoglobin levels back up over 9 and really ideally closer to 10. And I had fallen back down to 7, which is actually the point where they start talking about doing blood transfusions. And after running iron infusions for 3 weeks in a row, we were only able to get it up to about 7.4. And, it seems like my bone marrow is just kind of tired out. It has been, it was 4 years, actually on December 20th. And this has been a long road, and it's not, out of the ordinary to see that happen. But without being able to get those levels up, the trials are not going to be an option. The chemotherapy that I had done, when I saw my oncologist, I was actually in the middle of round 3. Unfortunately did not do what we had hoped it would. And because of that, I've discontinued it. Truthfully, it really didn't do much of anything. The scans that we do every 3 months showed, unfortunately, that in the last 3 months, there has been a significant change in how aggressively this disease is progressing for me. And there's a lot more present than there was just 3 months ago. And what had been present 3 months ago has all increased in size. And the underlying genetics of this make it really difficult to treat me. And unfortunately, we have gotten to a point where there really aren't any treatment options left that she can offer me that will be of any benefit to me. And so this has moved into what will become the final part of this journey for me. It's really hard to wrap my head around it, and it's really hard to share because I don't feel like a sick person. I am not in pain. I'm still able to do everything for myself on a daily basis. And so it really is hard to reconcile how I feel with what the scans and the doctors are telling me. I don't really have a timeline. And honestly, I don't really want one because I don't want to be living based on a date on the calendar. And I don't want that for my children or my family either. I feel like I still have a fair amount of life left to live, and I intend to live it as fully as I possibly can for as long as I can. I know from experience over this journey that there are going to be those of you that are going to wonder if there's anything that you can do for me. And I am grateful for that. I truly am. But right now, I keep saying this to people, but it's like you could take a roulette wheel and label it with every emotion you can possibly think of, from like sadness to a burning rage that really rivals the pits of hell, and just spin it about once a minute. That's really, how the emotions are kind of coursing through me. And it's really impossible to identify how I feel at any given moment, much less put a finger on any, specific needs or wants or anything like that. It's really like kind of just, like a hazy, dreamlike, very surreal state of being right now. But that being said, I do have a short list of asks. If you'll indulge me in those, I would be eternally grateful. So, the first thing that I really do know that I need from you guys is your time and your face. I really am prioritizing the time that I am able to spend in person, face to face with the people that I love. And so if you're in Lexington, if you don't live here, but you find yourself somewhere nearby or know that you're going to be, or if you live a little further out and have ever thought of making a trip up here to come see this beautiful area that we live in and all the horses and bourbon and everything else, please reach out and let's make some plans, whether it be for, a drink or a meal, or just sit in my living room and chat, or your living room, or a concert or a show or a rage room or whatever. Let's make those plans, because I really want those experiences and those memories with as many of you as possible. And it's really good for my mental well-being too, to not be sitting here letting my brain go down rabbit holes that it really doesn't need to be in right now. Secondly, and I want to make it clear that I say this with absolutely no expectations whatsoever. But there are still some trips that I would like to take, both for myself and with my kids, and some bucket list items that I'd love to check off. And doing that requires, some resources. And unfortunately, the cost of living these days and the cost of things like continuing health insurance while I worked to get benefits in place has drained that for me. And so if you would like to support and enable those ventures and have the ability to do so, the GoFundMe that was so graciously created and has been so graciously supported along the way is still available. Although I think it might be time to change the name of it if we can. And I'm going to post that link down in the first comment below so that it's easy to find. Please know that everything that has come in up to this point and anything that may come in after this point has been and will be accepted with a depth of gratitude that I am not able to put into words. Third, you've seen this request a few times if you're on my Facebook page. If you are able, please call your local blood bank and schedule an appointment and go donate blood. You may recall that I have actually had to have 3 transfusions after my surgery back in September. And at each of those transfusions, I received 2 units of packed red blood cells. So just those transfusions to give me some health back, that required 6 people. And there are folks out there who need it much more than I do. And the blood banks, unfortunately, are facing shortages way too often. So if you would please do me that honor of making that donation. It's a very simple thing, and you never know when the donation that you have made could be the difference between life and death for someone. Fourth, and this one's pretty important to me, and the irony of the timing is not lost on me, believe me. But March is actually colorectal cancer awareness month. And this is a road I never dreamed I would walk. And it is one that I do not wish for any of you to have to go down. And I don't want any of your children to have to be, shouldered with the knowledge that they're going to be potentially losing a parent, for those of you who are parents. And so if I can, by sharing all of this with you guys over the last 4 years, if I can prevent that for someone and for someone's children, then something good will have come of this. Colorectal cancers are not as easy to talk about because it involves, parts of the body and functions that we as human beings and societal norms are just not comfortable addressing. But especially in the next month, with it being the month that is dedicated to awareness of this disease, if you will, please honor me, please, by, first of all, knowing some of the early warning signs, things like unexplained changes, especially decreases to your appetite, unexplained changes in your bathroom habits, changes to the color and shape of stool, unexplained diarrhea or constipation, blood in the stool or in the water or even on whatever you're using to clean yourself, unexplained unintentional weight loss, and unexplained fatigue. Those are early warning signs, and some of those are for other cancers and illnesses as well. I think we get so caught up that it's very easy to have a change in our body and kind of maybe acknowledge it like, that's strange, and then set it aside and, give it a little time to resolve, because trips to the doctors take time away from work and school, and they cost money, and they're uncomfortable conversations, and you don't want to have wasted all that time and money on something that is, turns out to be nothing. But really, the truth of the matter is something could be brewing that is a threat. And the only way to really find out is to really pay attention to changes in how your body is functioning, and to take that to your doctor and actually sit there, because your doctor is going to be able to ask the questions that will lead to testing and scans and colonoscopies and those screening tools that are so important, because this is a very treatable illness with early detection. But it is become, I think, the second leading cause of cancer deaths among the population, when it is not caught early. So it really is very important to me that you all take care of yourselves. So especially with, again, the awareness month coming up, go to your doctors, do the screens, schedule that colonoscopy that you've been putting off. And about that, let me just tell you, I'm not going to tell you it's fun. The prep, everybody talks about the prep. I personally have done the Gatorade prep for all of mine, and find that it's really not that bad. It's not that awful liquid that they made everybody drink, up until a certain point where they developed other methods. So if that isn't offered, ask about it. But yes, it's, a day or so without, eating. You're on a clear liquid diet when you go through that prep. But I'll be honest with you, and this is just being very frank, the most uncomfortable and difficult part of that prep for me is the fact that there is very delicate skin that becomes very sensitive after repeated, trips to the bathroom. And for me, that was really the worst part of it. And for the procedure itself, you are either completely out or out enough that you don't feel anything and you don't remember anything. So yes, it's a lot, and no, it's not something that any of us really wants to have to deal with, but it could be the difference in an early detection or just peace of mind, even if there's nothing there, and a life saved. So please do me that honor of taking the time to schedule those things. And lastly, just, be the wonderful, incredible humans that I know you all are. Be kind in your day-to-days. Hold your family, and for those of you with kids, your kids a little closer. Normalize telling your friends that you love them, and do it often, and your family as well. And spend your time living life well and filling it with things that bring you joy. And really just let go of the things that don't and the people that don't, because every day is a new opportunity, but those new opportunities aren't always guaranteed. And unfortunately, I've really had to come to terms with that quite a bit over the last 4 years. So, yeah, so that's it for now. There will be, of course, more to come as we move along this last stage of this journey. But I am truly hoping to have a lot more to live, and a lot more to fill the days with in that time, because I really, really do hope to be able to spend a lot of that time with lots of you. So, as always, I am beyond grateful for all of the love and support that I have received and that I know I will continue to receive. You guys are just, you overwhelm me sometimes with that. And I truly, I don't have words to tell you how much it has meant and continues to mean to me. So, thank you guys. I hope to hear from and get to spend some time with as many of you as possible very soon.